Hi, I'm Lawrence Davis-Hollander. I'm an ethnobotanist. I used to be director and founder of the Eastern Native Seed Conservancy, garden writer, all-around plants person and plant nut. I want to talk to you about sacred tobacco. Sacred tobacco is Nicotiana rustica, which is a close cousin of the smoking tobacco we all know from cigarettes and so forth. And it's a native plant to North America. It's a very important and sacred plant to Native people, to Native Americans. The use of sacred tobacco is very different than the use of regular tobacco. And as non-natives, we really cannot relate to the understanding or the experience of that plant. We have no way, there's nothing comparable in our culture, maybe a little bit wine and Catholicism, but it's very different. And whether you want to call it a belief in the plant, an understanding, a tradition, or more like a knowing, a direct experience of this plant that is very imbued with many traditional people in Native culture. And sacred tobacco is a power plant. And a plant is a power plant because of its power, its ability to alter our present state, typically our consciousness, and typically through the effect of a chemical constituent, especially alkaloids, like in the hallucinogenic plant. But it's much more than that. It's its vibration, its energy. Many years ago, I had the opportunity to spend some time with Leon Shenandoah, great Iroquois Haudenosaunee chief, the Tadadaho, the spiritual leader of the Iroquois. And I was at the Onondaga Reservation visiting with his sister, grandmother Alice Papineau, looking for seeds, beans, corn, and so forth. And she said, you should visit with my brother. You should spend some time with my brother. I'll call him up. So the next day, Leon picked me up in his Barracuda, and we drove to the Longhouse. And Leon was very proud of his Barracuda, really liked it. So we spent a couple hours outside of the Longhouse in the parking lot, talking. And sitting next to Leon, the only thing I can say is it was like sitting next to a bolt of lightning. Just an amazing, powerful person with great humility. Long ago, the Tadadaho was a powerful and feared chief of the Onondaga people. He was the embodiment of all the negative energy working against the establishment of the Iroquois Confederacy. And we're going back to like the year 1100, 1200. No one really knows quite when. And it was said that the body of the Tadadaho was crooked in 7 places, and snakes writhed about his head. And eventually, he was transformed into a man of peace. 3 times he prevented the establishment of the Iroquois Confederacy. He was against it. And eventually, it's a much longer story, but through some healing and herbs and application of wampum, he eventually accepted this idea of peace. And he eventually became the firekeeper of the Grand Council. And this is the responsibility and duty of the Tadadaho today. From that day on, it was to promote the good word, peace, power, righteousness. He's the keeper of the fire. So anyway, Leon was a great man. And he spent a little time also talking about tobacco to me. And I'm sure he had the same talk with everyone about how tobacco was the great communicator. It allowed direct communication with the Creator. He equated it with like being able to pick up the phone and call the Creator. So for him, a very powerful plant. It was like the opening to another world, the wormhole. Direct communication to God, though Shenandoah certainly did not use the word God. Anyway, Leon was given an Indian name, which I don't remember, but basically in English it meant unfinished business. And he talked about how sometimes something keeps nagging at you. You don't quite pay attention. You know, like somebody's tugging at your shirt. So eventually you turn around and you see what it is. Maybe it's nothing, but it just won't go out of your mind. Well, that's a little bit like the tobacco with me. He also said, when you get on a path, the Creator will give you the mission. You just got to get on the path. Well, it seems Leon had some unfinished business with me, because there was something that wouldn't stop nagging me ever since I stopped working with Native American seeds and plants. And for many years, I ran an organization called Eastern Native Seed Conservancy, and that's what I did. You can call it what you want. And Leon, or was it the Creator, nature, the universe? I don't know. But something touched me. I think Leon reached out to me 16 years after his death and told me I need to go back to being the keeper of tobacco. And for a moment, I thought it was to be the keeper of tobacco. But I was corrected, just a keeper. So that's the project I'm trying to launch now. And with your support, we can get there. So thank you for your consideration. This is a way to get seeds and tobacco, leaf, back to Native people, those people who are disconnected from the land, who don't have access. Thanks.